Hello, agus fáilte of go lesson Shia. Hello and welcome to lesson 6. In this lesson, we're going to introduce the past tense of the verb to be, which is va, and we'll use this to talk about things that have happened in the past. And we'll also introduce talking about food, some new vocabulary to talk about food. As always, the PDF for this lesson is available in the description below the video, and you will also find a link to the folder containing all the files for the course there as well. So like in the last lesson, we saw J ha shao. J ha shao. What is this? What is this? To use any of the sentences we've learned so far in the past, all we need to do is swap the ha, which we saw here, with va. J va shin. What was that? We could equally ask J va shao. What was this? So J va shin. What was that? Like ha, the past tense of the verb has an independent form va and a dependent form ro. So the equivalent we saw before with ha for the independent and el or vel for the dependent. So if you remember the table we saw previously, we had ha, we had evel for the question, evel, and we had chaniel for the negative. Now we have anro for the question, charo for the negative, and va for the positive response. So va is the equivalent of ha, is what's known as the independent form, and ro is the equivalent of evel. To ask a question, you say avel is with a question mark, and ro was with a question mark. And charo is the equivalent of chaniel. So chaniel isn't, charo wasn't. So these past tense forms can be swapped into any of the sentences we've learned so far. So just taking a look at what structures, what sentences have appeared in the course so far. We've had kimir a ha u. We had kimir a ha u in the first lesson. We had kimir a ha anamishith. Kimir a anamishith. How is the weather? We had J ha u ejenuf. J ha ejenuf. What are you doing? And we had koasaha u. Where are you from? So to ask any of these questions in the past tense, as you'll see here, all we do is swap the ha, which we saw previously, with va. Kimina va. Kimina va in J. How were you yesterday? Kimina va in J. Kimina va anamishid in J. How was the weather yesterday? J va u jenif. J va u jenif. What were you doing? J va u jenif and J. What were you doing yesterday? And ko asava. Obviously, this one is going to come up less often. You don't often ask where was somebody from unless they're no longer with us. So, for example, you could ask ko asava Pavarotti. As Pavarotti is no longer with us, people will be familiar that he's from Italy, so that's a reasonable example to use. Ko asava, kimir eva. And to answer all these, we just repeat that verb the same way we did with ha. So, kimir ha u, ha migama. Kimir eva anamishid in J. Va anamishid fluch in J. The weather was wet yesterday. Kimir eva in J. Va miguma in J. I was well yesterday. So ha gets swapped for va in both the question and the answer. Je ha u a déanamh, ha mi a gobud. What are you doing? I am working. Je va u a déanamh, je va u déanamh. What were you doing? Va mi a gobud. I was working. This adverb here for and J yesterday, we could add that to this sentence too. Je va u a déanamh and J. What were you doing yesterday? Va mi a gobud and J. I was working yesterday. Or va mi a rui and J. I was running yesterday. Quoi ça va, as I mentioned, quoi ça va Pavarotti? Va Pavarotti as an adult. Pavarotti was from Italy. So we were introduced there to J yesterday, J. And in these pink boxes here, we have adverbs of time. So you, today, you, J, yesterday. In Gaelic, there's a special term for last night, Rayed. And we also have Anshin and Ansho. And we've seen show before as this, and we've seen shin for that. So show, this, ansho, here. Shin is that, but anshin is there. Anshin and show and shin. So all of these can be used with the sentences we saw previously. Kimin eva u arayed. Kimin eva u arayed. How were you last night? J va u a déanamh and J va u déanamh arayed. J va u déanamh and you. Another useful phrase to look at here is incheach gin sachai. In class, once we've learned the past tense, we will often ask questions about Je vashe v'déanamh incheach gin sachai. What were you, plural, doing last week? So incheach gin sachai, the week that went, the week past. And we'll see sheachgin is feminine. So ancheachgin and sheachgin va. If you had a good week, sheachgin va. Je vashe v'déanamh incheachgin sachai. So here we have an exercise with some sentences using structures we've seen before, but in the past tense. So if you'd like to pause the video and give an answer to these after each question, you can do so. I'll give example answers to these as we go through. So, Je va u déanamh incheach gin sachai. Je va u déanamh incheach gin sachai. What were you doing last week? Je va u déanamh incheach gin sachai. Va mi a gobud incheach gin sachai. I was working last week. Va mi a déanamh class Gaelic incheach gin sachai. I was doing a Gaelic class last week. Kimin ava namishid and J. How was the weather yesterday? Kimin ava namishid and J. Kimin ava namishid and J. Va namishid fluch fuad and J. The weather was wet and cold yesterday. An ro sheachgin va agat. An ro sheachgin va agat. So an ro was in a question. Sheachgin va, and as noted, sheachgin week is feminine. So Lenait's ma sheachkin va, good week, agate. If you remember, agate we met at you, and ro agate, did you have? And ro sheachkin va agate, did you have a good week? If you did, va sheachkin va agam. So va, yes, va sheachkin va agam, I had a good week. If you didn't have such a good week, charo, no, charo sheachkin va agam. And o sheachkin va agat, va sheachkin va agam, charo sheachkin va agam. So either you had a good week or you didn't have a good week. Likewise, and ro la ma agat and you. Did you have a good day today? And obviously you can see here from sheachkin va that la ma, that la is masculine. So and ro la ma agat and you. And ro la ma agat and you. Va la ma agam and you. Yes, I had a good day, or charo la ma agam and you. Va donna, it was bad. Cymryd va in class Gaelic in sheachkin sachai. And obviously when this is asked in the Gaelic class, I would expect positive answers. So va in class Gaelic, ma. Va in class Gaelic, uamasach ma in sheachkin sachai. Cymryd va in class Gaelic in sheachkin sachai. Va in class Gaelic, or va uamasach ma in sheachkin sachai. The Gaelic class was terribly good last week, or it was terribly good last week, if you use the pronoun in place of class Gaelic. If it wasn't so good, cymryd van class Gaelic yn sheachkin sachai. Charo ma idydd. It wasn't good at all. So you can either repeat the noun that you've been asked by saying va in class Gaelic ma in sheachkin sachai, or you can replace this noun class Gaelic with the pronoun. And class, we can see Gaelic isn't united here, so class must be masculine. So va ma in sheachkin sachai. And coas va Seamus Heaney. Where was Seamus Heaney from? Coas va Seamus Heaney. Va Seamus Heaney a Erin. Seamus Heaney was from Ireland. Seamus Heaney, famous Irish poet, no longer with us, so we can ask coas va Seamus Heaney. Va Seamus Heaney a Erin. Seamus Heaney was from Ireland. And lastly, an ro a gobydd yn sheachkin seo. Where are you working this week? An ro a gobydd yn sheachkin seo. Where are you working this week? Va me gobydd yn sheachkin seo. And we had yn sheachkin sachai, the week that went, and sheachkin seo, this week. An ro a gobydd yn sheachkin seo. Va me gobydd yn sheachkin seo. I was working this week, or charo me a gobydd yn sheachkin seo. I wasn't working this week. So you can have a go at practicing those sentences, asking the questions and then giving an answer. So next we'll need to introduce some vocabulary for talking about food. So brat, soup, which you may recognise as being similar to broth. So broth is used in Scotland to talk about soup, Scotch broth. So broth. And as this is masculine and starts with a B, Brot, the soup. Brot. Brochen, brochen, porridge. Again, masculine, starts with a B. Brochen, the porridge. Brochen. U, egg, an egg. U, u. Masculine starts with a vowel, so like we have with ushke and tushke, the rain or the water. And who. You have the T sound coming in before the vowel. And who. Aran, bread. Aran. Again, masculine starts with a vowel. And haran. And haran. You get the slight T sound coming in before the A. The bread. And haran. Bentata. Bentata. Potato or potatoes. Again, masculine and starts with a B. So bentata. This word is rather strange in that it doesn't have a plural form. So in Gaelic, bentata is both the potato and the potatoes. There's no plural form. So bentata is just potatoes, like it's one big entity. Hammer, obviously just ham, also used for bacon in Gaelic, so hammer, hammer. And an hammer, the ham, the bacon, an hammer. Curran, a carrot, carrot. Curran, curran. An curran, the carrot, an curran. Banya, milk. Banya. Masculine starts with a B, so banya. Banya. With banya, you'll also hear bonya in Lewis and mostly in the north in Lewis. Bonya. And you'll hear benya, benya in Barra in the Southern Islands. Benya. But given it's written with an A and used in Skye, and it's mostly taught as banya. Banya, milk. Kno, kno, nut. And feminine, so unlike an curran, kno, kno, kno. Lenites the C with the article, so the nut, kno. And the N here is like in knock or knatten, the NR sound that appears in quite a lot of Gaelic words after a C here. And this is like a kind of nasal R-N sound. It's mostly pronounced as a kind of nasal R, although there are certain dialects will have it more as an N. Ual, apple, an apple. Ual. And masculine starts with a vowel like U, aran, and ushke. So andual, andual, the apple. Ual, andual. Kjark, kjark, chicken. Kjark, the chicken. Kjark. So Lenites, because it's feminine. Kjark. Bow is the Gaelic for cow. Bow. And feminine starts with a B. So unlike banya, brochen, bentata, and brot, bow, Lenites, because it's feminine. Vo, the cow. vo, vo. Kudde, kudde. Sheep, a sheep. Kudde. And again, feminine, so like kjark, kudde, when it's the sheep. Kudde, kudde. The sheep. Tunak is a duck. Tunak. And tunak. The duck. And tunak. Kjark. Rangach. Kjark. Rangach. Turkey. And you recognize kjark is what we had for chicken. And frangach is French. So kjark, rangach is like a French hen. And that's the Gaelic for turkey. And like kjark, obviously kjark here is feminine. So kjark, rangach. FH silent, so this is pronounced just like it's rangach. Kjark, rangach. So kjark and tunak can be used for both the animal and the meat from the animal, but bo and kudde are the animals themselves. Fian, the Gaelic for wine. Fian. Masculine starts with an F, so like words that are masculine starting with a B or an M or a P, we have fian. Fian, the wine. Fian. Lune. Lune. Beer. Lune. And lune. The beer. And lune. Ushkebehe. Whiskey. Ushkebehe. And again, masculine starts with a vowel, like the word ushke itself we know is andushke. So andushkebehe, the whiskey. Andushkebehe. Joch. Joch is drink. And joch. And joch. Feminine. So if you were to say a good drink, joch va. Ushkebehe ma. Joch va. And this is drink in the general sense. To talk about alcohol, it's often described as joch lagid, a strong drink. So joch is just a drink, and joch. Two options for tea in Gaelic. We either have tea. Tea is pronounced like it is in English, and tea, or tea. Tea. And tea. The tea. Cuppa ma tea. A good cup of tea. So both of these are used in Gaelic. So we can now use these in combination with the verbal nouns we learned previously. So the verbal nouns we were introduced to in the lesson, J, ha, u, genev. What are you doing? We saw verbal nouns. We can ask now using ha or va. J, ha, u, geedi. What are you wanting? Or what do you want? J, ha, u, geedi. Ha mi geedi, and then fian, ha mi geedi ushkebehe. We can say ha mi egal ushkebehe, ha mi egihe tunak, ha mi egihe brochen. So we can use the verbal nouns we've seen, especially egal, I guess egihe. We can ask what people want with egiedi, and then talk about foodstuffs and drinks that people might want. And we can do that using either ha or va. Vami egal is gebehe. Vami egiche brochen. So again, an exercise which, if you're working with a partner or if you are in a classroom setting, this exercise allows people to split off into pairs and ask the question, J ha ed the genitive. What are they doing? J had the genitive. And then answer using the appropriate pronoun, e, or ed, ha, 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 ed, and then whatever it is they're doing. So, J ha genitive. J ha essen a genitive. What is he doing? J ha genitive. Ha egal. Ha egal. He is drinking. J ha egal. What is he drinking? Ha egal is gebehe. So J ha genitive. Ha egal. J ha egal. Ha egal is gebehe. And the eagle-eyed whiskey fanatics will see that that is Lagavulin. Ha egal Lagavulin. Ushkibehe ma. J ha esne genitive. What's he doing? J ha genitive. Ha giche. J ha giche. Ha giche pasta. Ha giche pasta. Veli egal. Is he drinking? Veli egal. Ha egal fiangelic. He is drinking red wine. Ha giche pasta agus egal fiangelic. So if we know the person's name, remember, we can ask using the name rather than the pronoun. So J ha essen, J ha J ha go fiangelic. J ha Gerard Depardieu egal. Ha essen egal fiangelic kitchach. He is also drinking red wine. Ha Gerard Depardieu egal fiangelic. So show Rory McCann, Ruaidí, who played the Hound on Game of Thrones, but before that he was famous in Scotland for being the Scots porridge oats man. So J ha Ruaidí a genitive. What is Rory doing? Ha a giche. J ha Ruaidí a giche. What is Rory eating? Ha Ruaidí, ha a giche brochen. Ha giche brochen. He's eating porridge. J ha ishe genitive. What is she doing? J ha genitive. What is he doing? What is she doing? Ha egal. J ha a genitive. Ha egal. J ha egal. Ha egal ushgebehe. She's drinking whiskey. J ha genitive. Ha egal ushgebehe. Cookie Monster. J ha Cookie Monster a genitive. Ha Cookie Monster egiche cookies, or cookieing, if you want to give it a Gaelic plural. We could also say briskagin for biscuits. Briskagin. J ha Cookie Monster a genitive. Ha egiche. J ha Cookie Monster egiche. What is Cookie Monster eating? Ha egiche briskagin. J ha Gordon Strachan a genitive. Gordon Strachan, former Scottish footballer. J ha a genitive. Ha egal Iron Brew. Ha Gordon Strachan gáil éireann brú. Dé ha iad san a déanamh. Dé ha iad a déanamh. Ha iad a gáil lún. Ha iad a gáil lún dú. They're drinking black beer. Ha de gáil lún dú. Or, as we recognize this as a brand of black beer, we can say ha de gáil Guinness. They're drinking Guinness. Dé ha essen a gáil. Ha Barack Obama a gáil Guinness. Dé ha ishe a gáil. Ha ishe a gáil Guinness cuiteach. Ha Michelle Obama a gáil Guinness cuiteach. Ha iad ule a gáil lún dú. They're all drinking black beer. Guinness. So in any of the instances where we're talking about a brand, whether that's Lagavulin or Iron Brew or Guinness, obviously you just use the brand name. So ha Barack agus Michelle Obama a gáil Guinness. Lún ma, good beer. Here we have Popeye. Dé ha Popeye a déanamh. What's Popeye doing? Ha Popeye a githe. Dé ha githe. Ha a githe spinach. Ha Popeye a githe spinach. And there's a Gaelic word for spinach, blunnig and gari, but I'd expect that you would hear spinach from most Gaelic speakers, so I would just stick with that. Here we have dal ban. Dé ha dal a déanamh. Ha a githe. Dé ha dal a githe. Ha dal a githe McDonald's. Ha dal a githe McDonald's. Again, a brand name, and there's not a Gaelic word for hamburgers, so ha dal a githe hamburgers. So here we have Sneach Gal, Snow White, Sneach Gal. Dé ha Snow White a déanamh. Ha I a githe. Dé ha Snow White a githe. What's Snow White eating? Ha I a githe u. Ha Snow White a githe ual. She's eating an apple. Dé ha ishe déanamh. What's she doing? Ha I a githe glasrich. Or ha I a githe salad. Just salad. Ha I githe salad. And lastly for this lesson, we'll look at some of the ways we'll can ask people what they will have, what they want. So, vil geri joch, something you might use in a bar. Vil geri joch, are you wanting? Do you want a drink? And if you are, ha, and if you're not, chanel, because you've been asked vil. Vil geri joch, ha mi geri joch, chanel mi geri joch. And with this, obviously, you'll have to specify what that drink is. So, if giri joch, ha mi giri mishkibehe, ha mi giri lún, or fian, or whatever it is you want. Su orange, if you're not wanting a joch lajit, orange juice, su orange. You may also be asked, J harigiri, what are you wanting? J harigiri. And there you're prompted to answer, what is it you want? Ha mi giri bishkibehe, ha mi giri fian. So I'm wanting whatever it is you want. And if you don't, if you're asked Jay how a geiri, you can say Chanelmi a geiri dat. Chanelmi a geiri dat. And this dat is like anything. So Chanelmi a geiri dat. I'm not wanting anything. So this is one way to do it, using a geiri and either asking Evelu a geiri joch or Jay how a geiri. Are you wanting a drink? What are you wanting? So 2 ways using the verbal noun agiri. But you'll also hear these phrases, and we'll look at these in more detail later on in the course, but it's worth learning some phrases you might use in, for instance, a bar setting or in a restaurant. And gavijoch, this is probably most likely what you would say to somebody in Gaelic in a bar. And gav u joch, will you take a drink? Gai mi ushkibehe. So gai is a positive response to and gav. Gai mi ushkibehe. Gai mi noon. Gai mi page Guinness. I'll take a pint of Guinness. Gai mi page Guinness. Or gai mi ushkibehe. And if you don't want to take anything, then gavijoch chayrav. Chayrav. I won't take. Another form of this, Jay gas to. So this would be the equivalent of this sentence. Jay gas to. What will you take? Gai mi ushkibehe. Gai mi page Guinness. I will take whatever. And if you don't, chagav mi dat. I won't take anything. Chagav mi dat. I won't take anything. And one last way you might hear this put, evel joch huat. Evel joch huat. And this is common among island speakers, and I also heard it a lot in Nova Scotia, in Albanua. Evel joch huat. Evel joch huat. This huat is like from you, so evel joch huat. Are you in need of a drink? Ha chaniel. And like evel giri joch, you would have to then say what it is that you want. So evel joch huat. Ha. And you can use the same structure. Ha bishkebehe vuam. Or you could just answer with the agiri. Evel joch vuat. Ha hami agiri ishkebehe. Or chaniel. No, I don't want a drink. So that's some barroom vocabulary using what people want. Obviously, we can replace joch and ask about food or anything else. Pencil, pepper, vior, any of the nouns we've had so far. So that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you next time.